I know when we will get like 1 million revenue in this year, but after that, I guess it will be hard. It's hard to export, and I want to understand how can I get clients like from all the world, like and high paying clients, because let's say e-commerce stores like starts from the 10K, it's like minimum, and then we need like in my case it's like hard to understand how can I sell on the Facebook or test quickly what works and what doesn't in marketing. So biggest struggle now could be like marketing in our case.
That makes sense. Yeah. So would you say right now that, how many calls are you booking per week? How many new clients, and how close are you to your full capacity in terms of the team you have right now?
It's like we had like a special offer in Latvia. We have like a grant. Then if client buys e-commerce store, he can get like 100% back from a government because it's support. So
That's
we
pretty
run
cool.
Facebook ads, yeah, and it's very easy to sell them because it's like it's a very good offer, but it will run for a while. And it will run for a while, and after that I don't know what will happen, if we will drop, if we will not get like a new way how to get clients. And
Yeah.
at this moment we have like about 10-15 calls like booked, and we always have systems, everything, so we can take more, but the problem is marketing.
Okay. Well, one of the biggest arbitrages that you can work with is obviously having low cost labor, and then obviously having clients from high, rich countries that can afford high retainers. So for example, $100 per hour might be really, really low for someone that lives in, let's say, the Netherlands or the UK. But for you, you can really turn a profit on that. So my first advice is definitely break out of Latvia and make sure you're getting clients from high income countries with high, volume. And also make sure that it's lower than the standard in the country you're targeting. So let's say you were targeting the UK. Development hours typically go for above 100 quid per hour. So if you're at 80 or 90, you're going to already be cheaper than your competition, but you might offer way better quality of work. You might offer one-to-one Slack communication with them, other things like that makes it super attractive. And if you look at the standard in the UK, you'll find that development agencies are not flexible. You might have to pay 20 hours up front. They bill you for the whole day. So I'm sure you can come up with a unique proposition for them that makes it super attractive to work with you. The biggest struggle you will have, I think, is that you need to break into these markets, and they're like, oh, this is a company, they're far away, they don't speak perfect English, maybe, like we're used to a certain standard. And that's the biggest thing you need to get through. That can be overcome by having an account manager that you just say, we can hire that account manager in the UK, just so they have at least one person they feel like they can really communicate well with. So some clients, especially the big ones, they like that. But there's also a lot of clients that just care about money and service, and those are the biggest things that they care about more than anything, right? I'll share my screen really quickly, and this is going to be useful for every single person on this call. It's kind of, I posted this video yesterday, but I want to give a little bit more context to it. This is the marketing funnel that I recommend for most agencies. And I wouldn't say everything up front, but I would say that this is going to satisfy your needs from most agencies. And so, for example, like we book 350 calls a month, and most of them come from paid ads. And then we have a good bunch that comes from cold email, and then we have some that comes from social setting. But the problem and the reason why some people cannot get ads to work is because it's really low trust. And you're going to face that when you enter new markets. You go outside of Latvia and you're like, oh, I'm going to try to break into something else. And what happens is they'll click the ad, then that might go to a lander that talks about why you're better and different, and then maybe you can book a call. But a lot of those people will take a month before they book. And if they're serious about working with you, they'll come back over here and they're going to check out, okay, who is this company? Or check out your website. Your website needs to look good. Then they might check your LinkedIn and your Instagram. And they might see, try to see where can I find value and how can I see they're really good at their work. So if you can establish content on any of these platforms, especially at first, it will help you a lot. Just because they might not really trust they can work with you. And I always recommend LinkedIn as one of your first ones, because if you post content all the time, they can see you're legit and that you're active in the community. It's also going to be a lot of your calls going to come from it actually in the end. But I'll recommend that you're always sharing resources and creating content. So that will help you a lot, Valdez, in the beginning, is get that going. And I don't know, are you doing any of these things right now?
Yeah, well, we're creating content, but it's mostly in Latvian, so we need to start creating in English.
Yeah.
But, we do it. It helps sometimes to sell in Latvian clients, like YouTube content and stuff like that.
It's super important that you have something in English then, otherwise they're going to feel, oh, they don't know the language, they will make a lot of spelling mistakes, and it's going to be annoying to work with them as a development agency. So that's something I definitely recommend instantly. Get that going in English if you want to break out of Latvia. That's going to be mandatory. So yeah, that's the process. And then obviously, you can go a step further. This is relevant for everyone. So we're on a webinar right now. So this is a really cool way to establish trust. And if you were doing development, you might be doing something like, the 10 trends we see for Shopify e-commerce stores, and do a webinar about that. Or it could be the 10 biggest issues that makes your website load slower. It can be, you can come up with lots of different ones and see which ones get a lot of traction. And then what you can do is you can amplify that webinar with your paid ads. So instead of just running this short funnel, you're also running ads to get signups for your webinar. And what you can also do is for this funnel here, they'll click the ad and it might say book a call. But what it could also do is on that lander, you have not ready to book a call, sign up for our next webinar on whatever date. So if you cannot hook them on the call, at least they can jump on a webinar. And that is because they're not really sure if they want to work with you, but then you might convert them over here. So hopefully that makes sense, otherwise just ask as well. Let's proceed a little bit. I also want to give attention to everyone else on the call as well, but Valdez, hopefully that was useful. And we can talk more about that later this week. I know we have an appointment coming up as well. Mohammed, welcome to the call as well.
Hey, Daniel.
Let me hear a little bit more about you and your agency as well, and we can take it from there.
Sure. Well, it's not really an agency I have. It's actually, I actually have a full-time job as I'm a teacher actually at the University of Applied Sciences in Ghent. But it's like 80% of my work. So 80% of my time goes to that, and 20% goes to digital marketing projects, right? I had a web shop in 2014. That's where it started. It was about 20 years old. Just experimenting, trying to make some extra bucks. And after that, took on. I was still studying. Took a lot of clients in the past years. But what happened is that I kind of naturally grow to, I have grown into a CRO expert, let's say. So I do CRO audits for web shops, for example. I help them get more revenue. But I have also done a lot of lead gen clients. So designing landing pages, designing websites, running Google ads, for example. The same for the e-commerce clients, right? So basically, what I am thinking is, or where I want to go to next year is, switching it around. So teaching for about 20% and 80% going to, let's say, growing an agency. How I work now is, well, if it's something with high expertise, I do it myself, or I work with freelancers that I trust, that I know. Some of them I have taught. So I teach in the postgraduate, for example, digital marketing. So I have a lot of students that are award-winning, that are working in award-winning teams, let's say. So I can use those resources. So work with them, outsource it a bit when I don't have the time. So it's running well, but I don't. Well, first thing, I'm working with referrals only. So I don't do any paid ads. I don't do any cold calling. I don't, and that's something I want to change. That's the first thing. To grow that agency, because I want to go from 80% teaching, 20% digital marketing, to 80% digital marketing, 20% teaching. So the thing to succeed in switching from 80 to 20 and the other way around is get more clients. So actually, I need to rethink about, well, I cannot live only on referrals, right? I will have to have some kind of acquisition channel that I get new clients or new leads from. And I have talked with, for example, companies who help with, how do you call it? Appointment setters. They have like appointment setters. Not sure what it is 100%, but
I can talk more about that. So
yeah, that would be nice.
But it's honestly pretty straightforward with all you told me so far. It sounds like you are a student of the subject, but you've become a teacher, but you think of yourself as a student because you're always trying to learn more. That's a really good mentality to have. Now, since you know so much about the subject, it would be very wise that you continue to educate. But what you will do is the learning and the teaching is going to be through your social channels. So I would definitely go all out on LinkedIn. I would go all out on YouTube. And you could also do Instagram as well. Because if you do that, you will have a very strong platform to start running ads, because you're going to have a lot of trust in the industry. And so, for example, YouTube is going to be a compounding effect. If you could commit to, say, run 2 or 3 videos per week for a year, you'll probably end up having 2,000 to 5,000 subscribers from all that work. And a ton of those people might want to work with you. And then what you're going to do from all that content is you can always give a way for them to work with you. There's going to be a link to either buy a low ticket product. It could be a checklist. It could be an audit. It could be like best practices. You could probably come up with 10 low ticket offers that would make sense. That's the first way of working with you. It's one of those products. And then what you will also do is you might offer a consultation link in those videos and on your LinkedIn and on your website. And this is if they don't want to have the low ticket products and they want to ascend straight up to working with you as a consultant. And that might be, a retainer that you charge them a fixed amount per month, and then they have a monthly call with you, or there might be a set of fixed deliverables that you will give them, basically. And that's going to be very profitable. I think from that setup alone, it would be very likely you could reach $25,000 a month, just like ongoingly, because that will come from low ticket offers and it will come from consultation. And you can probably handle at least 10 clients, maybe more, where you're a consultant for them with a set amount of deliverables.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually have one, for example, I have one client like that where I charge a monthly retainer. And yeah, I was thinking I need more clients like this one, and it's an e-commerce shop, and we have grown it. I was making the calculations yesterday. I think, it was about 223,000 euros extra revenue that we generated from
that's
zero
that's
audit.
insane. That's
and running
insane.
the ads, with half the marketing cost. So our budget I'll send you over the case anyway.
You should have said I want 10% of what I'm generating for you.
I calculated the retainer, and it's about 10% if you calculate it over a year. So
okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, so you already got one good retainer, and as a consultant, you could probably manage 10 or so people without hiring a single additional person in your company. But lots of people don't want to go straight from nothing to a consultation. They want to have a middle step. That could be the low ticket digital products. It could be, webinars. It could be a discovery call or something where they can just take one step in, but not both feet. So I recommend that when you're building your funnel structure, that you're building all like different ways to work with you, and then slowly they go up the stairs until they become a full retainer for you, basically.
Yeah, that makes sense. Can I have one last question, and then I'll give you back your time?
Sure. Go ahead.
So I was thinking about profiling myself. So I have done everything, right, from SEO to CRO to designing web pages to Google Ads to Facebook Ads. I can do everything, but the thing is, I'm thinking about how I work with that big retainer that I have now, well, relatively big, is I did the CRO audit first, then I did the Google Ads audit. I have run the Google Ads themselves after doing the audit. The developer of the company then implemented the CRO improvements. But now we are at the point that SEO is one, well, they need to step up their SEO basically to get more revenue. Would you say, okay, take on the SEO also, or would you say specialize in, let's say, CRO Google Ads and find a partner to work with you for SEO so that you can scale easier?
Well, that depends if you want to be super laser focused on one and become a subject expert. But I see two routes. Either you can be like the CRO guy, or you could be the e-commerce scale guy. That is like, I am a one-man army that will do whatever it takes to get you to reach your goals. And I have the ability to work with you on SEO, CRO, ads. You will get more clients that way. And I think it depends on your ICP. So who are you targeting? Is it e-com brands under $50,000 a month or whatever? If you're targeting brands under 50K, I would say the wide scope is going to be better, because they don't just have CRO issues. They also have ad issues and SEO issues. But the bigger the targeting, like the brands you're targeting, let's say above 100K or above 200K a month US dollars, the more laser focused they are on what they want, and they don't want the Swiss Army knife at that point. I can see that because we have clients doing $100 million a year, and they know exactly what they want. And if we come in and pitch a growth retainer where we do meta ads and so on as well in dev, they'll just say no, because they don't want that. So my answer to your question is define who you want to target, and then that determines how you will position yourself.
Yeah, that helps. Thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, so a few more things. I want to make sure Jens and Anush also have time. So feel free to come in and talk about something you want my take on. And if you cannot talk, you can also write as well. So I don't know if any of you guys have any questions. In the meantime, Valdez, I will go over your ads as well. I like them a lot. I just took a look, and yeah, they look similar to what I suggested you should do. So I like that. Good background, also nice contrast. And I think, what are your results so far with those ads? What are you, do you have a cost per call already, or do you have any metrics to show?
At this moment, I know we have got 2 leads. I don't know price yet. I need to check, because agency is doing for us.
Is there an agency that's doing these creatives for you?
No, our designer. I did gave your ads. Our designer, he's creating them, but Facebook management, like, setting up the campaign and stuff like that is doing agency. But we are creating creatives, and the idea, like everything else, we did like in ourselves. Like.
Okay. So what we'll do here is I'll try to audit your funnel as well, because it's not just about the ad, it's also about where you're going with the ad. So I can see you using Facebook lead forms where they have to fill out everything on Meta instead of going to the website to fill it out. So it's like something about revenue, maybe the name of the company, and if your store is already developed, or if you need a new one. It's something like that, right? Those are the questions.
Yeah, usually it's like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we actually went through that with Jens, who's on the call, because he is a student in the program, and we broke down his entire funnel. And what we also identified for him as well is that running Facebook lead ads has we have less chances for Facebook to understand what a valuable lead is. And that's because we don't get a lot of time with them before they are, asked to put in all their information. So we tested this a lot in Purple Fire as well. And we saw the best results when we lead the customer to the website. And then there they see a video or they see a little bit more information on how we work. And then they can book a call. And then there's a few things they need to do in order to book a call. So I'll share my screen as well, and we can go through just what we use at Purple Fire, and basically you can copy that if you want to. Also, I might show a few other agencies so you can just see what's happening. Share my screen again. So basically, this is your ad right now, and I just translated it with Google. And right now, if you click the ad, you get this pop-up thing. As far as I can see, let's see if it can load in here. There we go. And then you get your lead ads here, right? You need to fill everything out. And what I propose that you're doing is, instead of sending them to this, you actually get them to click the ad, and the ad takes you to a website. So this is our website, and we have a lot of different landers. We can just pick a random one here. A lander that works extremely well at scale, and this is with like $30,000 of ad spend a month, is just to send them to a custom page with a headline about what you do or a case study, and then a video that explains the concept in more detail. Now, why is this better? It's because we're taking them over here. They get to consume this content, and this is part of the qualification. We want to only book calls with brands that meet our ICP. So, for example, brands, over X amount of dollars per month. And you don't have the ability to quantify them very well when you do lead ads, because you cannot do a lot of rules in there. But when we get them to the website, get them to watch the video, and then get them to click the book the call button, then we can do a schedule page where we can ask them what services they're interested in, how much revenue per month they're generating, and so forth. And it's this qualification that feeds back to Meta about who we actually want to work with. And the way we've set it up actually is that when they indicate how much revenue they have per month, if they select no revenue, then we don't kick that data back to Meta. We don't count it as a conversion. So what does that do? It means that Meta over time is not going to look for brands that have no revenue. It has thousands and thousands of ways to scan for similarities on the people that actually book a call. So over time, the pixel will get seasoned, and it will start to understand who to show the ad to. And this is where I think a lot of agencies are not really doing things correctly, and they get shit leads that don't show up for the calls, and basically things are not working out. And There's actually another, I don't know if they're Lithuanian or Latvian, but these guys called Atkins. Do you know these one, Valdis?
No, I don't know them.
Okay, I think they're from Latvia or Lithuania. I'm not sure, but they do things similarly. But they just use Calendly, and I always recommend for new agencies that don't have, HubSpot as a CRM system, just use Calendly, and you can. So what would happen is you click the VSL button to book a call. Instead of this page, you just show this page instead, and then they find a time slot they want to book the call at. And then you do the qualification inside of Calendly. You can set up all your questions in there, like the revenue and so on. And you can even set up rules, like if they click this one, redirect to another page, and that way you can make sure Meta is not counting it as a conversion. So you can do a lot of really cool things like that. But this is what you need for qualification. And then once they book a call, then they will go to another page like thank you for booking or whatever. And when you're doing your conversion in Meta, this is the URL you will tell Meta that counts as the conversion. So you go to custom conversions inside of Meta, and in there you have you can set up a custom conversion, and then it can be based on a URL, and then you will input the thank you page, which will show up after they book a call. And ultimately, you will just get really, really qualified leads if you ask the right questions. You can even say, we charge $100 an hour for development. Is this okay to you? Or is this a deal breaker or whatever? And then you can get people to accept the cost up front. You can do that if you have a lot of problems because you're getting calls with people that are not qualified. But the best way I found it is to not literally say your prices, but you just say what's your MRR, and then they will indicate with these radio buttons what it is. And then after that, you can make rules like, okay, if this is the case, we don't want that to be a conversion. You might still want to take the call, but if you have really large scale setup like us, then this goes to a setter team. The setter team is like a team that only will try to see if someone is qualified or not. And if they're qualified, they'll say, okay, cool, you're qualified, it makes sense. Let me schedule a call with our team, with our business director. And then they actually jump on a proper sales call after that. So that's something that can happen as well. So this is the funnel. And if you're right now thinking like, what the hell is he talking about, custom conversions and so on, then you'll need someone who's an expert that can watch one of my videos in my course, the one that's called Tracking and Pixel Setup, and just follow it and set it up for you, because it's absolutely mandatory that you get this going. Otherwise, you're going to get crap leads, basically. So, Valdis, does that make sense for you?
Yeah. We actually use Pixel, but not so advanced how you did show. Then each point is sent like to like basic setup, and then it go to Pipedrive, and when it go to Pipedrive, then it sales start to work with this. Person. But I wanted to ask about. I was thinking, I just didn't have yet time. Like, if we create landing page. Should we create it like in our website? Because how we have like WordPress website, we use like basic page builder, we can create there. Or I was thinking for testing, it could be like easier to use some kind, I have seen like ClickFunnels or stuff like that, where I can build like faster those like landing pages. How it better.
I mean, you can do that. It doesn't really matter as long as the tracking is in place and as long as you have the URLs, because all the conversions are happening based on URLs. So you can easily use a builder and then host it on a subdomain or whatever you want to do. You can also use like Elementor on WordPress. We are rebuilding our website completely right now, and it's 10x more beautiful than what we had in the past. And we decided to use Framer.io to build a new website. It's really nice, it's super fast, and you can do anything you want in that CMS system. But you could also use Webflow. You could use Builder.io. There's so many different ones. But if you're on WordPress, don't make it difficult. Just build something that goes really fast, because you will want to like get new pages up and test different things as well. And one more thing as well about this, like you might be thinking to yourself, okay, we're doing development. I think one thing that will be important for you is find a unique angle how you're different than others. I'm seeing some very interesting offers right now in development and in creative, where you get unlimited development or limited ads or limited creative for a fixed retainer per month. And the way they make sure they're profitable is that they say we'll only work on one thing at a time. Average turnaround is like 1 to 3 days, depending on complexity. So that's how they can control that they're not getting 2,000 new requests per month where they would burn money. If I was you, I would try to experiment with something really cool like that, where it's a fixed retainer or something else that make you a little bit different than the thousands of development agencies out there or design agencies, because there are so many, and it's like a death race to the bottom. People are just going lower and lower and lower on price, but you don't want to be in the game of price. You want to be in the game of quality and making sure they feel they have the best partner for their ever-growing needs. So I think I would go in that route for you. Try to come up with different offers. In my course, I also have a video dedicated to how to come up with different offers. And you found the one that works when you can see the calls are just starting to come in and the ad and the funnel is just working. You just see it instantly. And that's when you have found service market fit. When people are like, oh my God, I love this offer. I love how it works. You will just see your price per call go way down. So something to consider is keep experimenting with that.
Okay, at this moment we have like we approached them in Latvia, we are like niche in e-commerce. Then we usually tell the clients we are specialized in e-commerce, so it like take us a part of them because there's not so many e-commerce agencies. And the second is like we offer e-commerce strategists for free, and then we tell if the in-house strategist will be expensive and stuff like that. But it's like when we sell them, like when we speak with them, I never tried to run like ads using like that. So yeah,
it's going to be really good for you. Another thing I would do is in Latvia. It's a small market. I don't know how many e-com brands there is in total, but there's not that many. So I would find all the Latvian agencies that are doing other things, like let's say email marketing, and one is doing Facebook ads, and I would try to partner with them. And I would even maybe do a couple of projects for free or like lower pricing, just to prove that you can take really good care of their clients. So let's say you find a really big email agency. They have 100 clients and maybe half of them is from Latvia. You getting in as their go-to development agency that they're constantly referring to, it will really skyrocket the amount of clients. And you can do referral deals or you can share clients.
Yeah, we do. Like this is like one of the main sources where we get clients. Like we partner with agents. No, like different agencies. That's right. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. And then what you can obviously do is break free of that to other countries. Like, okay, we conquered Latvia. Let's go to Lithuania now. Let's go to Poland. Let's go to other markets in Scandinavia and try to make partnerships. And if you do that, you can really get a nice source. But the thing I always say is you can never let partnerships and referrals be the main source of your new meetings coming in, because some months it's just dry. You don't get any new referrals. And so that's just one channel. It can never be all of it, right? So yeah, that's there's a lot of interesting things for you. I think you can really scale your agency a lot. And you definitely want to go across different countries. I recommend looking into Constant Creative. Just Google them. They look at their ads. they have these retainers where you pay for unlimited amount of ads per month, but they only work on 1 or 3 ads at a time. If you can switch that offer to your services, I think a lot of brands would find you very attractive.
That sounds interesting, yeah. Because it's like I also want to get like if we could get like a lot of leads, it would resolve basically our problem. Like like Facebook leads, just then we know then that something works, because now it's like mostly referrals, offer. Then it's like unresistible, but nothing like like ads which work. Like we know then our services. It would be perfect actually.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, cool about this. I also, obviously, like Jens and Anush, if you have any questions, please write it in the chat as well. And in the meantime, Mohammed, I actually thought about 2 brands you should check out as well. One is called Candy for Scale, Candy with a K. They're really famous. They spend I think they spend like $50,000 to $100,000 a month on ads.
Oh, wow.
I am pretty sure they're liquidating their entire ad spend by selling low ticket products like a CRO audit and a checklist and so on. But what they've done now, I think in the beginning, they were mostly just selling these low ticket things. Now they're actually doing agency services as well. So they're not really pitching the agency services so much on the front end, but whenever you buy a product, they probably have a team that's like calling and reaching out and basically getting them to be an agency client. We actually churned one client a couple of months ago because they took over the ads from us and they lowballed everything. They just did everything 5 times cheaper than we did.
Wow.
So, like, we cannot compete with that. If the client cares only about price, like nothing we can do about it. But I wanted you to check out their ads, because what I can imagine is that you will do a lot of those things and just tailored to what you know about. And if you can just get your ads to break even, you'll have hundreds of people per month that have bought a service from you or a product, and they are a fraction of them will be ready to talk to you about being on a retainer with you after that.
Yeah, I'll write it down. That's a good one.
Yeah, so they're really big on that. And there's a bunch of people. You can use an app called Foreplay, where you can go in and analyze competitors' ads. And you can also just type in like conversion rate optimization. Or if you found out what product you want to sell, like let's say you want to sell a CRO checklist, you will then go in and just write that, and it will come up with people that are running ads related to those searches. And it's going to be a really good way to get inspiration as well.
Cool. So I have Candy for Scale. You mentioned that there was a second one, right? That you would recommend to check out?
Yeah, I'm blanking on the name. I'm actually in Foreplay in the background to see if I can find it. Because it was something like conversion. He's selling conversion checklists, and he's selling a lot of other things. Let me see if I can find a conversion rate checklist. Oh, there's just so many ones. I'll share my screen so you can see what you can find if you use Foreplay. So I just wrote conversion rate checklist, and it just immediately showed me a bunch of ads, and all these brands are basically selling a checklist, I believe, or an audit. Look at this: launch.pro.com/product/e-commerce conversion checklists. So they're selling these checklists, and this is easy way to do research on products that are in demand. And usually what I do is, if I can see they ran the ad for a long time with lots of comments, I know it's profitable or at least break even, because otherwise they would have turned it off. There's always some way you can find out. Conversion wise, that's like a pretty big agency as well. So there's like lots of different things you can look at. Oh, this is the guy I wanted you to check out. He's pretty famous. E-commerce conversion checklist by Jaka, this guy here.
Jaka Smith.
So if you search for him in Google, you will find his website, and actually you'll find he has amazing low ticket funnels, and like I'm 100% sure he's making a profit on it. I often check him out because we run ads through CRO retainers, and we can use these for our agency even though we're not selling a conversion checklist as much. So I get a lot of inspiration from guys like this. Like there's really good stuff here, really good inspiration.
Yeah.
And so for example, and like this brand is extremely famous, and I'm betting he didn't do this. He just used them for social proof to sell his checklists, which is pretty crazy. So that's just something you can also do if you want to. I can see the lander here, and then you can this if anyone wants to sell a low ticket offer, it doesn't matter what it is. This is a really nice template to get people to buy your stuff. It's like really good direct response copy. And then he's using, and this is another hack, by the way, which I think I'm also going to be using. He's using YouTube to embed his video about what the product is about. Now, why is he doing that? It's because he wants a lot of people to play the video, and then the algorithm on YouTube will show them videos later as recommended videos, right? So he's growing his YouTube on this based on that. Look, it got 11,000 views. Of course, it's because he's like trying to grow his agency.
That's pretty smart.
And he doesn't even have that many videos, but he has some stuff. So it's pretty smart. So that's this is the one I recommend. I'll post it in the for everyone if they want to do a low ticket offer here. And then foreplay. There you go.
What would be a good, let's say, CPA for running ads like this? Do you have any?
Do you mean for a low ticket product, or
Yeah.
you mean for price per call for consultation?
Well, both if you have an idea.
Well, low ticket products, it depends if you're selling for $40, $100, or $7. So it will change depending on that. I'll rather talk about ROAS, like what's your return on ad spend.
Yeah.
So actually, the ads that I ran to sell my digital ads, which are the reason why all of you are here in the first place, we were seeing about 1x to 1.2x return on our ad spend. So pretty much just broke it even. But my goal is not to sell you the ads and then we are done. My goal is for that to be the first entry point and hopefully give you value, so you feel happy. And then you're on the webinar now. I'm hoping that I can give you even more value. And, I think we are actually getting somewhere, all of us. And then, of course, I'm not looking for that digital product as a end station. I'm hoping that some of you say, I would like to work with Daniel. Like, I think I could really grow my agency with him. So that's my end goal. And it's the same thing for you with your digital product, right? Let's say you can just break even on the ads. If you're selling something for about $20, you will probably break even on your ads if you do a decent funnel. And then all those digital products will, if you do a nice email sequence and you maybe do personal outreach to everyone that bought, some of them will want to talk to you about working on an ongoing thing, doing an audit or something like that. So I think it's very few brands that make a lot of money on those low ticket offers. But target 1x to 1.2x in the beginning, and you're in a really good spot to make money because of your consultation service as well.
Yeah, sounds fair.
But isn't that the dream, though? Like, if you could just have free ads and get people that are somewhat interested in you, and then they will just deliver tons of calls to you over time with people that want to work with you on a retainer.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah.
That's the dream, That's and I don't know why I didn't even do it faster in Purple Fire, like my agency. Like I'm paying $30,000 a month on ads. And I should have focused even more on that myself, you know, running to what Candid for Scale is doing, like lots of low ticket offers. And if I could just break even on $30,000, that's 30K profit, additional profit per month I can put in my pocket. So that's something on our to-do list for 25 as well. Like even on such a big scale agency, we think is interesting in liquidating our ad spend as well. So yeah, so that it's really exciting for you, Mohammed. You can go really far with this, and yeah.
Well, it's a few steps I need to take to make sure I scale properly. Well, the only key I need is acquisition, right? But I haven't had the time right yet to work on it properly, to be honest. Because there are several ways, right, that you can take. You can do ads, but you can also do. There is a software that we can use here in Belgium. I'm not sure if it's also in other countries. Probably it is, but it's called Candid. And what I'm not sure. Do you know the software? Ever heard of it? No.
You can link it. I can see if I've seen it before.
Well, it's basically, let me tell you about it. It's basically a software that you can check out, for example, companies that stated in the, because in Belgium, when you register your company, you have to say what you are doing. So for example, I am an e-commerce shop. So with that tool, you can actually filter on e-commerce shops and even on what their revenue is, and also how fast they pay. For example, if there are companies that do not pay their invoices on time, for example, you can see that in that tool. So that's quite an awesome tool to work with. I have bought the subscription, but I haven't been in it. Well, I haven't used it, to be honest, because I'm a bit short in time. But that also might be a good way. I'm not sure if it's a good way. I haven't tried it yet, but it's worth a try, right?
In the service of not getting you overwhelmed, this was the same advice I gave to Jens on his coaching call earlier today. Don't do too much and make it as simple as possible, and focus on 3 low-hanging fruits that will just move you instantly. I think it would be a huge win if you can just commit to creating useful content on YouTube twice a week and create one low-ticket funnel that actually breaks even. And to do that, you literally just need a decent lander, which you know to do because you're teaching the stuff. Build it in the simplest software possible, run ads to that lander, and then literally see if you can get it to break even. And it's going to feed you with so many people that wants to buy it and book a call with you to land retainers.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's how you start. That's how you start. And then worry about cold email marketing later and scraping lists and signing up a lot of software. You don't really need it in the beginning. You just need to get that big win so that you can book a consistent amount of clients, right? And you have low trusts in the beginning outside of your social circles. Obviously, people around you know you. So posting on LinkedIn, posting on YouTube, running ads, they will look you up. They will see you, know what you're talking about. There will actually be people that will want to jump on a call with you. And especially if you offer free audits and stuff like that, there will be a lot of people that want to jump on a discovery call. And then you can close them on a low retainer, a couple of $1,000 a month per client. But with you as a personal COO expert that they have on hand with Slack access and so on, there's definitely brands that will pay for that. Definitely. So yeah, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, makes sense. I do have. Yeah, it makes sense. I do have some stuff ready. I use for my own audits, right? So I can use that as a low-ball product, let's say.
That'd be super cool.
So yeah, it totally makes sense. If I would have, it would be actually awesome if I could break even those ads, right?
It'd be huge.
And I do have some authority in the market of Belgium, let's say, because I have taught over think it's about 600 students now.
Okay, that's
that are all working in marketing at in e-commerce brands and in companies. So they're all digital marketeers, right? So
then I would focus on conquering Belgium first. Do everything in, I don't know if you need to do it in English anymore, actually, because you will see, I guarantee you'll see a break-even ROAS or more if you just focus on Belgium to start with. And because there will be so many positive vibes and like a butterfly effect from you having so many students, that there will be a lot of people that will sign up for it, and there will be people that know you that will comment on the ads and so forth. You can even run take the ad and then take the URL and take the students that really love you, and you ask them if they can just like write a comment. That's a way to get a little bit of social proof in the beginning. And they don't have to lie. Just say, hey, can you please give me your honest opinion on me as a SEO expert, and write it in a comment in this ad. And then they'll say, oh, I was a student of Mohammed. He's amazing, blah, blah, blah. Like, that will give you so much social proof, honestly.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and by the way, when you do your website with this low ticket, and I want you to use this structure from the guy I recommended, Jaka.
Mm-hmm.
Use that structure to sell like an audit framework or whatever. Get your students as testimonials in the beginning, and all the clients you've had, to really add in a lot of social proof. Write everything, maybe not in English, and I'm pretty sure you're going to see big results. And if you want someone to follow up, you can always let me know, and we can talk about you joining Agency Supremacy as well. Like, I can give you feedback. Oh, now the lander is live, and I can give you some pointers on how to fix that. But just let me know, and then we can you can get access to the full course and everything as well if you want to.
Okay, sounds good.
So yeah, wrapping up. Anyone with a burning question here at the end that didn't get it answered yet? Now's the time. No.
I was thinking about, like, in our case, we as agency, no, usually we need like bigger clients because it's less headaches when we work with bigger clients. And you said, like, let's say this unique proposition, though. So it's like it was interesting when you told, like, then we can take like requests, like creative requests, one in a time. I think is it working? Could it work also like for bigger agencies, or how can we like get this proposal more interesting for not bigger agencies but bigger brands in our case? How it would look like?
Yeah, that can be done in many different ways. It could be that the agency that you make a partnership with, that they then invoice their clients for this dev stuff, so that you have a way of making sure you both get paid. So, the agency might say, we will take care of any requests you have through our partner, and then they kind of introduce you. And basically, either you can bill them directly, or the agency can say, we take care of the billing, and you can work out a structure. In the beginning, you can say, it's a per hour for the agency, or you can say that we can work on one client at a time or 3 clients at a time, and you will set your retainer based on that. So you just have to find out what works for the bigger agency. But my guess is they don't want to be involved in the development, invoicing, and all that stuff. They just want to recommend you as a partner and stay out of the invoicing. And then you will pitch your structure, like, we can work on any development you want, unlimited, but it's 1 request or 2 requests at a time, or something like that. And then we always tell you what the turnaround time is based on the size of the job, right? Because the size of the job depends heavily on what it is they actually want to do. And then, like, the thing is, you will quickly find out that if it's a $5,000 retainer, then you can calculate back, okay, well, how many hours is that? That is, I'm just saying something random, 50 hours. Okay, 50 hours. If you work at one task at a time, for a full month, does it even make sense financially with our cost of the labor? So you need to do that exercise internally just to figure out how you want to do this. But I can guarantee you that, Constant Creative, that was the agency I recommended, they know their cost, they know they're profitable, and they're doing like 3 ads at a time or something like that. So it's pretty scaled up. What I would recommend, I know it's a little bit much to go into that right now, but if your developers can leverage AI, and maybe 70% of the coding work can be done through AI, and they are just fixing the code in the end, and they're doing QA and they're merging perfectly and so on, maybe it's actually profitable at a lower retainer, and then you are extremely attractive to a lot of brands. So with the way things are going now with AI, I think you need to be looking at how can our devs be extremely efficient and not just do things the old way, line by line. Maybe there's a way they can do it faster, because that's happening in ads now. Like, people are not doing things manually anymore. They're asking the AI to start it, and they're not happy, and they're prompting, and then they take it into Photoshop and they fix things that are not good, and then they're way more efficient. So that's probably something I would recommend for you as well. Finishing off, Anush is asking which can be more engaging topics to create content as an e-commerce development agency. And you mentioned LinkedIn would be a more efficient platform. For sure, I would say as an e-commerce development agency, I would almost take a CRO, like conversion rate optimization angle, because people don't want to hear about like nerdy dev code stuff. No one wants to hear about it. So I would take the approach that when you're doing e-commerce builds, for example, the 10 biggest issues we see when we do product pages, the 10 biggest issues we see on collection pages, the 10 things you need to know about checkout in 2025 for highest conversion rate. Because you are a development agency, but you're kind of hinting between the lines that we're not just developers. We know what actually works, what functions really well. You could talk about security, so you don't get hacked. You could talk about speed optimization. People love to know how they can make their store faster. You could talk about the apps that are actually really useful for e-commerce brands. So if you can do that, that's really good. And then one thing we do on LinkedIn that's extremely successful is that we do giveaways where we do this big resource. For example, 100 checklists on what you need to know about, checkout in 2025, or how to actually use AI to boost revenue in 25 from an e-commerce perspective. And we only give the resource if they comment, whatever, give me the resource. And you can go to my LinkedIn, you can see past content where I did it. So you get hundreds of comments. I think my record, this is insane. I think like a year ago, I did a post that got 400,000 views and like 2,000 comments or something insane. It was ridiculous. And that's a really good way to spread awareness of you. And you will get people that will just like DM you and say, oh, I love this content you did on, how to speed optimize your store. We actually have problems with speed. Our Shopify is so slow. Can you do an audit? That is really powerful, right? And in that giveaway where you talk about how to optimize speed, you can also say, by the way, if you don't just want a giveaway, but you want us to personally audit you to optimize the speed, here's a booking link. And you will add that as in the first comment, not in the post. Because if you add it in the post, it will kill engagement because there's a link in there. So, Anuj, I hope this was useful to get you started on content. And you can just go to my LinkedIn and see content to get an idea of. We're not a development agency as such, but you kind of see the idea of what we do because it's really useful. And the last thing about LinkedIn, guys, this is something that's not on the table for now for most of you, but what we are just starting now is what whoever engages with me on LinkedIn, I will actually have a person in the back logging into my LinkedIn account and messaging all those people, connecting with them, and try to set a call and literally get them with my sales team on a call. And this is very useful when you become bigger, because when you become bigger, we might have like 1,000 people that are actually engaging with my content per month. And that's 1,000 opportunities because they took the first step and engaged with me. Now there's an opportunity to follow up and ask for something low risk, like, hey, should we jump on a discovery call to see what are low-hanging fruits for your store, for example? And Mohammed, you could use that so much in your business as well. And I know Jens, yeah, all of you could use it as well. So that's something. And you can get, by the way, just want to know prices, someone for like $500 a month that will do this full time. Just like engage, write messages to every single person that engages with your LinkedIn profile. So something to think about too.
Where do you get that staff, Daniel, of 500 a month?
I can set you up with a few connects I have. Obviously, it's not going to be people based in Scandinavia or US, but in Asia, in Africa, in like, for example, I have 3 full-time people in South Africa that is just managing my inbox for cold email, because we're sending 200,000 emails out per month for cold email. And as I said, we're booking 75 calls a month from that. So reach out to me and I can connect you with people that can just find you setters. That's the name of this job. And yeah, it can be done for any channel you want.
Sure. Thanks, Daniel.
No worries. So yeah, otherwise, you know, that was the first little webinar. Super happy you guys showed up. And if you want to work with me on a bigger thing, what Jens has signed up for as well is full access to the course. It's like 50 hours. And then a one-to-one call, just you and me for 1 hour. And then a Slack community where you will have your private channel with me, and I have my ad specialist, I have my email specialist, I have everyone in there so you can talk to them as well. And obviously there's the community we're building. So just let me know through email. You probably have my email if you want to work with that. But otherwise, you know, great call. And I think we got through a lot. And yeah, have a great evening, guys.
Have a great evening, Daniel. Thank you.
Thank you. See you later. Bye-bye.